Hello students, I welcome you all in this season of history that is going to be based on the two important topics, that is the Simon Commission and the Salt March. And I would like to tell you that these two important topics will let the base of the Government of India Act 1935, and upon which the Government of India Act which led to the foundation of the Indian Constitution. As we know that approximately 50 to 60% part of the Indian Constitution had been directly taken from the act, that was the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so it's a very important topic that we are going to discuss today from the history of class 10th nationalism in India. Before it, dear student, we have seen that how the Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred, and later the non-cooperation movement was launched and it was called off, and the Morley Minto reform, and also the Montagu-Chelmsford reform that came in 1919 for the assembly elections. Okay, so it was all the preface of this Simon Commission and the Salt March, and it led to the base of the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so this is very important topic we are going to discuss over here. But and one more thing I would like to tell you that when the non-cooperation movement was called off by Mahatma Gandhi on 5th of February 1922, sorry, on 12th of February, okay, 5th of February, actually it was related to the Chauri Chaura massacre. Okay, 5th of February 1922 related to the Chauri Chaura. Okay, I have told you in the previous videos, Chauri Chaura massacre. Okay, and on 12th of February 1922, due to the becoming violent nature of the non-cooperation movement, Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off the non-cooperation movement. Okay, and later on 13th of February, the next day, he was imprisoned for the 6 years. Okay, but get bailed on 1924 due to the sickness of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so it was all about that has happened in this chapter earlier, and now today we are going to discuss about the Simon Commission. Okay, actually there was a great uprising between the Congress as well, as they were in favor. Most of the real leaders of Indian National Congress were in favor of the mass agitations and the yes, mass agitations, and they wanted the independence with violence. Okay, so they were not in support of Mahatma Gandhi, and in the lieu of this, C.R. Das, that was Chittaranjan Das. Okay, Chittaranjan Das plus Motilal Nehru, they organized a new party called Swaraj Party within Congress. Okay, Swaraj Party within Congress. Its aim was to demand Swaraj from the Britishers. Okay, so there were many more uprisings seen in India. Okay, within 1919 to 1927. So as a result of which the Simon Commission was set up by the Tory government of that time. Okay, Tory government of that time in England. Okay, okay, Tory government of that time in England. Okay, and it set up a commission in the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. Sir John Simon. Okay, in year 1927, and it arrived in India in January 1928. Okay, so before I give you the notes of this chapter, one time listen the explanation what was going to happen in the Simon Commission and how the Indian reacted against the Simon Commission. So dear student, due to the mass uprising, great uprising in India, and continuous strikes and protest demonstration that were made in India against the British, there was a problem created for the Britishers. Okay, finally the Tory government of England at that time, it came to the point that it should appoint a commission that would uh, examine and analyze the Indian constitutional system, that what they were actually wanting, what the Indians were actually wanting, and what was about the constitution, how it was working in India at that time. Okay, because in 1919 there was also made some constitutional amendment regarding to the elections in the provinces. Okay, so it led to the diarchy. Okay, diarchy system in provinces in 1919, and some of the provisions were made more for the assembly elections. Okay, but it was not enough for Indians. Actually Indian, they were now becoming creative and becoming passionate for getting independence. Okay, and they were not in favor of working with Britishers as well. So these were the problem. So finally Tory government was forced to organize the commission who would examine the constitutional system and to know what were the problem actually the Indians were facing at that time. So this commission was organized in 1927 under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. If the question is being asked in the board examination, listen to me. The in board examination, this topic can be asked in many ways. Firstly, the question can be asked directly that what was the Simon Commission, okay, and for what purpose it was organized. Or the question may be asked that the commission that was organized in 1927, what was its aim or its theme, okay. Or one more question can be arised from there, that which commission was welcomed with the black flag, and what actually did Indian wants. Okay, so many type of question can be asked from this particular topic. So let's know what the Simon Commission was. So Simon Commission was the commission of a group of members who came India to examine the Indian constitution. Okay, but as there was no member of India in that commission, so Indian gave the name of White Commission to the Simon Commission. Okay, White Commission means English Commission that will work in the favor of Britishers only. Okay, so it was named the White Commission. When it arrived India, as there was no Indian member in that particular commission, so Indians opposed it and welcomed. They greeted it with the slogan "Go back, Simon, go back," and showed him the black flag. Okay, and later when a peaceful mob was protesting against the commission, Lala Lajpat Rai was struck by the police and he got died later. Okay, in 1900, in November 1927. Okay, so it in November 1928. So it was all the problem of this commission. Okay, but this commission finally gave the report to the government that there was a need of reform in the administrative system of India, and which led to the base of forming the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so it gave the Indian as the dominion status, and many more provisions of the constitution made in that particular act. Okay, and more thing, there was a constitution designed for India having 295 articles at that particular time. Okay, so it and the Government of India Act 1935 led to the base of the Indian constitution that was designed in year 1949. Okay, so this is very important topic that is going to be discussed over here. So listen, Simon Commission. Okay, it was formed by the Tory government in year 1927. Simon Commission arrived India. Now make the notes. Simon Commission arrived India in 1928, January 1928. As there was no Indian member in that particular constitution, in that commission, Indian member in that commission, it was called as White Commission. Okay, question may be asked in the MCQs like which commission was called as the White Commission. Okay, so your answer would be the Simon Commission. Is that clear? Moving forward, when the commission arrived India, it was greeted with the slogan Simon Go Back. Okay, when the commission arrived India, it was greeted with the slogan Simon Go Back. Okay, Simon Go Back. Is that clear? And it was showed black flag. But it was showed black flags. Okay, but later when a peaceful mob was protesting against the commission, when a peaceful mob was protesting against the commission, due to the punishment, you can say, or you can say the lathi charge also. Okay, punishment of police, Lala Lajpat Rai was stuck there. Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, Lala Lajpat Rai. You all know Lala Lajpat Rai, Lal Bal Pal, the three famous leaders of India. Okay, Lala Lajpat Rai was stuck hard, and he died. Simply, he died in November 1928. Is that clear? November 1928. November 1928. Okay, not 28 only. November 1928. Okay, so it was the Simon Commission. And moving forward, in year 1929, Lord Irwin, the Viceroy of that time of India, okay, Lord Irwin, Viceroy of India, Viceroy, Viceroy, okay, Viceroy of India at that time, he gave a proposal of dominion status to the Indians. Okay, dominion, okay, dominion status. He gave a proposal of dominion status to the Indians. Okay, to settle the uprisings in India. For what purpose? To settle the uprising that were taking place at that time. Uprising in India. Okay, moving forward, yes, but when he gave the proposal of dominion status to India against the to settle the uprisings, okay, he never cleared that when this status will be provided to India. Okay, means when the time will come that Indian will be provided the dominion status. Okay, state of dominion status. And he said that Indians should take part in the round table conference. Okay, as I have told in the deadline, okay, that there were three round table conferences organized in 1930 and 31. Okay, 1930, 31 and 32. Okay, so he said that Indians should take part in the round table conference and they should ask their demands from the British government. Okay, but Indians were in desire of something other. Okay, they were now wanting for full independence. Okay, they were in the favor of full independence now, and they decided in the INC conference of 1929 of Lahore, for the proposal of Purna Swaraj. Okay, they passed there the proposal of Purna Swaraj. What? Purna Swaraj. Now it's the time that I should tell you what is the sense of dominion status and what is the sense of Purna Swaraj here. Okay, listen. Dominion status is the status of any country or the state which have all the powers except three things, that is the foreign affairs, financial affairs and the defense. Okay, so these three sectors of a country are inherited by some other country. Dominion status means finance, okay, foreign and the defense. These three sector would be under another country. So England was in favor to provide the dominion status to Indian, but now the Indians were in favor that they will need, or there is a need of Purna Swaraj to the Indians. They are now capable of making administration over India, and they could design their constitution as well. So in the lieu of this, the INC in the INC session of 1929 in Lahore, a resolution of a proposal of Purna Swaraj was passed, and it was decided that 26th of January 1930, 26th of January 1930 would be declared as the Independence Day. Okay, what? It would be declared as the Independence Day, and it would be celebrated as Independence Day. Okay, so it was all about the Simon Commission and the preface of the civil disobedience movement. But you should make very clear, when the Simon Commission represented its report, then it said to the government that there was a need of the constitutional reform, and the Indians were now in not favor of the dominant status. They are wanting for the full independence. So finally the government was forced to design a constitution of India. Okay, so now moving forward. Yes, now moving forward, we have come to the point, the Salt March, that is the most important satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi, okay, for uniting India. Okay, you know, Mahatma Gandhi had started from the satyagraha in 1916 in India, and he became popular, and now he was the leading leader of the most influential leader of Indian National Congress. Okay, approximately the whole congressians were in favor of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, now it's the turn of the Salt Satyagraha, Salt March. It is known by the many names. Okay, you can say it's Salt March, okay, Salt Satyagraha, okay, Salt Satyagraha, or you can say it as the Dandi March as well. What? Dandi March as well. Okay, and it was known as the first phase of civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement, I have written it in shortcut, CDM. Okay, so Salt March and Dandi March all are the same. Question may be asked in the board examination from the any name, with the any name, that what was the Salt March, what was the Salt Satyagraha, what was the Dandi March. And dear students, there will be many questions from here in the map as well. Okay, you will be asked the question that locate the place where the Dandi March took place, from where it was started, where it was ended. Okay, many more questions can be asked from here, and the date can be also asked from there. Okay, date could be also asked in the examination in MCQs or in the mapping work. Okay, so you should be very careful. Firstly, before I start to tell you about the Salt March, I would like to tell you the location of Dandi and Sabarmati. Okay, so you know, this is the imaginary map of Gujarat. Okay, so see here. Okay, Gujarat. So here is Ahmedabad. Okay, and here is Sabarmati, and from there Dandi is in the coastal place. Okay, Dandi is in the coastal place. So here Sabarmati Ashram, Sabarmati river, and at the bank of river Sabarmati Ashram was established by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Okay, and this was started on 12th of March 1930. Okay, 12th March 1930. Okay, and ended to 6th April 1930. Okay, end and here beginning, start or and ending. Okay, so you should keep these dates, places in your mind for the board examinations. Okay, so let's know what was the concept of Dandi March. Actually, dear students, at that particular time, British government had imposed the salt tax. Okay, so as you know, the government's aim was only to collect money from India. Okay, so he was thinking that, means the British government was thinking that the salt is the very common thing that every person will use. You know, we are also habitual of using salt, okay, daily. Either it would going to be too costly, we will use the salt. Okay, we can't leave it because we are habitual of using salt. So every person, maybe rich or poor, he will use the salt. Okay, so British government has imposed a tax on the salt, and Indian have to pay the salt tax for using it. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi was against it. He said that it is the natural product and there is no need to pay tax over it. So, and it was also a point that it could unite the whole Indians. Okay, because all have to pay the taxes, maybe the Islam, maybe the Hindus, maybe the Sikh or anyone. So all, if all have to pay the tax, they all were against the salt tax. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to launch the salt satyagraha. Okay, and it was started on 12th of March 1930 with his 78 volunteers. Okay, and after a travel of 24 days on foot, he reached to the coastal place, okay, near the ocean, coastal place near Dandi, near the ocean, and here he broke the salt law. Okay, so it was all about the salt march, but the preface of the salt march was started from here. Listen me. Actually, on 31st of January 1930, on 31st of January 1930, Mahatma Gandhi demanded for the 11 rights of Indians. Okay, so it was known as the 11 demands actually of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, he wrote a letter to Lord Viceroy Lord Irwin and demanded for 11 points. Okay, but the Lord Irwin denied these things. Okay, and he never think of this, that what is going to be happen in India. And in this letter, Mahatma Gandhi has also mentioned about the salt law, and he have warned had warned Lord Irwin that if salt law was not abolished, then they would start the civil disobedience movement. Okay, but there was no impact of it on Lord Irwin, and finally Mahatma Gandhi had to start the salt march. So from here you can write salt march. Okay, write down. Salt march was started by Mahatma Gandhi from his ashram in Sabarmati. Okay, started from where? Started from Sabarmati. Okay, Sabarmati ashram with his 78 volunteers. Okay, with his 78 volunteers. After a date you can write here on 12th March 1930. Dear student, the date is very important. Okay, for the board and the competitive examination as well. Okay, so you should mention the date very carefully. 12th March 1930, and on foot. Okay, on foot. While he was traveling, while he was traveling, many of the other villagers joined him in the way, and when he reached to the coastal place, there was a mass population of 2,000. Okay, population of 2,000. Okay, gathered there, and Mahatma Gandhi broke there the salt law by taking the piece of salt. Broke their salt law. Okay, by taking a piece of salt in his hand on 6th of April 6th of April 1930. Okay, and he traveled approximately 240 miles. How many? 240 miles. Okay, 10 miles a day. Okay, 10 miles a day for 24 days. Okay, so this was the it was the concept. And where he stopped in the way, he organized the meetings with the villagers, and he urged them to follow the civil disobedience movement. Actually, civil disobedience movement was the based on the concept that Indians will not follow any of the rules and regulations that were made by the Britishers. Okay, any of the rules regulations, they all be just violated by the Indians. Okay, it was the concept of launching civil disobedience movement. In this way, the first phase of civil disobedience movement was started, and it was up to the 6th April 1930. Okay, so I hope you all have gained it well, and in the next topic, in the next day, in next video, we will see the next topic, that will be the round table conference. Okay, so I hope you have all have gained the history well, and it is the most important topic for the examination point of view, especially in board. Okay, you will be asked the questions from this topic. One more time, I am giving you the quick revision of this. Okay, see here the important dates first. Okay, yes, see here, due to the mass uprising in India after 1919 and 1922, as the Chauri Chaura incident took place on 5th of February 1922, many uprisings were taking place in India. So the Tory government was forced to organize a commission that would examine the constitutional system of India and also the Montesquieu Chelmsford reform of 1919. Okay, and the Simon Commission was organized in year 1927. It reached India in 1928, January 1928. But when it reached India in 1928, it was greeted with the black flag, and there was the slogan, Simon, go back. Okay, it was because of there was no Indian member in that commission. Okay, so the Indian called it as the White Commission as well. Okay, now moving forward, when the peaceful mob was protesting against the Simon Commission, okay, there was the lathi charge by the police, and Lala Lajpat Rai, the most important leader of that time of India, he was struck and died in November 1928. Okay, and finally the Lord Irwin gave the proposal of dominion status to India, but to settle the uprisings in India. Okay, but Indians were not in favor of the dominion status. They were now demanding for the Purna Swaraj. Okay, and it was the preface of launching civil disobedience movement. Okay, as well. Okay, so Viceroy also Lord Irwin also said that Indians should take part in the roundtable conferences that were going to be organized in 1930 and 31 and 32, and they should ask their demand to the British government. Okay, but the Indians were not in favor of that. Finally, a resolution of Purna Swaraj was passed in the INC conference of 1929 in Lahore. Okay, and it was decided that 26th of January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day. Okay, but it was the unfortunate that Indian could not celebrate the Independence Day due to the hanging of the major leaders of India, that was the Sukhdev, Bhagat Singh and Rajguru. Okay, so moving forward, the Salt Satyagraha and Dandi March. Okay, so Dandi March was started from Sabarmati on 12th of March 1930 by Mahatma Gandhi from his ashram Sabarmati. Okay, and it ended on 6th of April 1932 after a long journey on foot of 240 miles on foot. Okay, so before it, Mahatma Gandhi had written a letter to Viceroy demanding his 11 points. Okay, and in the most important point was to abolish the salt law, but the government was not in favor to abolish the salt law. Finally, the salt march was started. Okay, with 78 volunteers, and Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law on 6th of April 1930, a coastal place in Dandi. Okay, So it was the concept of the Simon Commission and the Dandi March. Okay, now in the next session we will see that what was the round table conference and what was the concept of round table conference, what resulted into the what was the benefit of Indians from the round table conference. Thanks for watching everyone, and please share the channel more to get share the channel more and make it like and subscribe as well. That could energize me to give you the more contents and more good topics of the topics of CBSE. Okay, thanks for watching.